The importance of that moment is hard to overemphasize. It was the beginning of a societal consensus. And I want to say that phrase again, societal consensus. I think one of the things that we are lacking in India right now is a societal consensus behind the importance of science. We talk about engineering, and engineering is important, and India is known for its prowess at producing engineers, but we underemphasize science, I think, to our own detriment. There is so much upside potential. I live and work in the Harvard-MIT complex, which is one of the bastions of science in the world, and I'm very fortunate to be there. And I see it all around me. Companies being created, discoveries being formed, vaccines, new age materials, new algorithms, genome sequencing. Everything is happening within 10 square miles around me. And the number of entrepreneurs who are creating dramatically new things is fantastic to watch. I'm trained as an academic, but over the last 15, 20 years, I've started a dozen companies, essentially feeding off the science and contributing to it also. And to me, creating a company is as much a research project as writing an academic paper, because in the end, it's all a process of experimentation. And I've just loved it so much that that's what I want to communicate, that excitement to you. Now, most of my professional time is spent in China, India, and the United States. What I'd like to get us to think a little bit about is what are some of the possibilities that a consensus around science can unlock for us in India in the next several decades. Prime Minister Modi ji was here yesterday talking about us being a top 5 economy already and aspiring to do much more. I think the aspiration is truly endless. And again, let me keep going. We are familiar with a number of amazing things that have happened. If you go back to the 1960s, those are some archival pictures on the left when we used to borrow small rockets and ride our bicycles to different places in the 1960s. All the way to now doing Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan and these very heavy launch vehicles, LVM-2. This is just a picture of the heaviest launch vehicle that we have, which shot its first satellite into space, I would say around 2017 or 2018. And the progress is just dramatic and rapid. Some of the policy frameworks that have kicked in to enable this are also now well known. We've got the NSIL, which permits commercial space applications in a way that unlocks the monopoly away from ISRO. So it's always the state setting the stage for private entrepreneurs to do something. This is an area where we've done quite well. Another area, of course, is, again, the Prime Minister alluded to this yesterday, the Aadhaar, the biometric ID, and the India stack that has been built atop it. I like to use the phrase ease of life, right? It's not just ease of doing business, it's just ease of life. And the phrase at the bottom says India has gone from being a data-dark country not more than 15 years ago to now being one where each individual's data exhaust is a monetizable asset. What does that mean? It means that you are poor. Even if you were poor, you're still going about your life and using various forms of digital payments and generating a digital paper trail to yourself. And that exhaust is monetizable to you in principle. And that's what's going to happen. And the beauty of that is that that's not related to your paper income or your rupee income in some ways. So lots of progress. But I'd like us also to be realistic and say that India's progress has to be put in perspective, right? If we want to go from a 3 to 4 trillion economy to be a $10 trillion economy, we have to be realistic and we have to look around and say, where can we pick and choose lessons from and see how we don't need to reinvent the wheel. As I said, I spent a lot of time in China, going back to my first trip to China was in the mid-1990s, maybe early 1990s. Starting in about 2008, I co-built a company, a software company in Beijing and New Delhi that was quite successful, sold it a few years later, learned to speak Chinese, my kids learned to speak Chinese, and so we are sort of full citizens of these two countries in some ways. And I want to share, but the way that China has gone about leapfrogging its historical assets, so to speak, is quite different from the way that India is going about it. And I think there's much to be learned from it. And that's what I'd like us to do.